A day after President Bola Tinubu presented a proposed budget of 49.7 trillion naira to the National Assembly, Senate intensifies work on it as lawmakers deliberate extensively on the general principles of the proposed budget bill. The budget bill is the only item on the order paper on the day. In his lead debate, Senate Minority Leader Okoyemi Bamidele seeks support from his colleagues to pass the bill for second reading.
The 2025 budget proposal, christened Budget of Restoration, Securing Peace, Rebuilding Prosperity, strikes at the very core of the Renewed Hope agenda and demonstrates this administration's commitment to stabilizing the economy, improving lives, and repositioning our country for greater performance.
President Bola Tinubu on Wednesday presented the budget and, in a bold and ambitious move, predicated the parameters on inflation dropping from 34% to 15% and a staggering growth rate of 4.6% from 3.4%. The president also pegs the exchange rate at 1,500 naira to $1, expecting also that Nigeria's crude oil production would increase to 2.06 million barrels per day.
I applaud the deployment of 4.91 trillion naira to defense and security in order to protect the lives and property of the people and for the people to engage in meaningful economic activity, especially agriculture.
How do we drive investments when our borders, when our space is so insecure? So to this extent, the attention to defense is commendable.
Some lawmakers, however, raised a few concerns, especially about the money Nigeria plans to spend on debt service, 15.8 trillion naira, which is almost a quarter of the total expenditure of 49.7 trillion naira, the largest in Nigeria's history. But to some others, while the budget looks huge in naira terms, it is still relatively small, even by African standard, when converted to dollar.
I'd like to mention that the problem of the amount of money for debt servicing is still a source of worry to me, because that is approximately 1/3 of the total budget, 15.08 trillion for debt servicing. That is very likely going to put pressure on the available resources for capital and other needs.
At the end of the deliberation, Senate passed the budget for second reading, referring the document to its Committee on Appropriation for further legislative action. The committee has 4 weeks to complete the assignment and revert to plenary when Senate returns from Christmas and New Year holiday on the 14th of January.
A lot is expected from us in this chamber to make sure that every kobo that is being appropriated in this budget, in the 2025 budget, is spent, and our oversight functions should be carried out in such a way that the real benefits for the people of Nigeria is realized.
The 2025 budget bill comes in rather late from President Bola Tinubu, leaving lawmakers with very little time to have it passed on time to beat a December deadline and for the president to have it signed into law by the 1st of January, as it is customarily done.
Once we come back in January, we can get cracking. If there is need to call you back, in line with legislative practice, while you are on holiday, we'll do so. So don't forget that like they call it in the army, I think reservists. You are on reserve. You can be called back anytime if there is need, so that we can convene in the national interest.
The proposed 2025 budget is the second to be presented by President Bola Tinubu. Omo Bazwai, Arise News.
Meanwhile, the 2025 Appropriation Bill has successfully passed its second reading in the National Assembly following an extensive debate by legislators on Thursday with mixed reactions from lawmakers. Our Arise correspondent, Adesua Giwa-Sage, reports on this.
The 2025 Appropriation Bill passed its second reading in the House of Representatives on Thursday after a spirited debate amongst lawmakers. While some praised the bill's vision, others called for closer scrutiny. Minority Leader Kingsley Chinda criticized the projected reduction of inflation from 34.6% to 15%, labeling it as ambitious and unrealistic.
I don't see how we can achieve that. Even where we achieved the issues of security in 2025, does it follow that immediately the same year that we'll also achieve food security? The answer is completely no. If we achieve security in 2025, we expect fundamental improvement in food security perhaps the following year. But to continue to budget that we are going to achieve security for the country this 2025 and the same 2025 that we're also going to achieve food security is self-deceit.
However, Honorable Kafilat Ogbara disagreed, defending the projection as achievable with the right policies.
And some have said that this budget is too ambitious or that it can trigger inflation. But this is a budget that clearly states its target of inflation reduction from 34% to 15%. So clearly this budget will be, working on its inflation rates for the nation. And of course, I also want to say that this budget also highlights its key economic goals, which will be stimulating growth, ensuring that infrastructure is more enhanced, and of course to ensure that it promotes social welfare.
Honorable Bello El-Rufai raised concerns about ballooning recurrent expenditures, urging lawmakers to curb excesses and prioritize fiscal discipline.
So the recurrent issue is in every budget, even a young person like myself. We budget for vehicles every year. We budget for utensils every year. So what I would like us to do, sir, to open more revenues or block loopholes, is to look at all these ministries that are bringing their budgets. If they bought vehicles last year, please, they should just relax now. Vehicles do not expire. These are the little things, Mr. Speaker, that unless we start looking at them, the loopholes we talk about will not come out. I want to thank the leadership for sessions like this and other experienced members. It's a learning opportunity. But on this, the Oronsai report, sir, should be implemented. It is key. That is one. The second and most important thing to me, since I was I'm still a young man, since I was a boy, budgets every year come with new computers, new furniture. These things don't expire, sir. We should cut them out totally. We can't be asking Nigerians. We can't have a tax reform bill that could shape the fiscal shape of this country. While as leaders, we are not cutting anything. So I urge the chairman, I'm honored, sir, that I chair a committee that has CBN, but my budget is not on here. But committee chairman that are more experienced than myself should look into this. Nigerians are tired of every agency buying fork and knife every year. We should show them we are serious.
As the bill advances, these debates underscore the critical need for balance between ambition and pragmatism in shaping Nigeria's economic future. Adesua Giwa-Sage, Arise News, Abuja.